Dearest and most precious darling, when I asked you what you want for your birthday, you said, surprise me. And I was so happy and thought, I know exactly what I'm going to get you then. And so I did, because it's the most loveful book I ever read. And so I know it's good for you to have it too.
Hello everyone. First and foremost, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Right now, it would be April 12th, 2023. In like an hour or so, my birthday will be over. And before that happens, I'd like to share a story with you all. A love story that I experienced. Now, this might be a little lengthy here, but I'll try to cover all the important beats of it. I just think that everyone would enjoy this. And it started in a little game called Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yep, I kid you not. It started in Animal Crossing New Horizons. It was released March 20th, 2020. So right in the midst of the pandemic that we all went through. Oh, well. But yeah, it started off with, well, I created my character, going through the motions of building the island, meeting the villagers, making friends, being in debt to Tom Nook. And well, while I was adding friends randomly on GameFAQs and adding friends of those friends through talking in villages, eventually, I met up in a 8-person village, or I believe it was 4-person, or at least a 6-person, somewhat. I started exchanging friend codes, and one of those friends that I added was a girl by the name of Joanne, which I would later come to know was the Dutch pronunciation would be Joanne or Joanna. Anyway, we added each other, and then later on, I would come to her island, which would be called Paradise. Let me tell you, it was so fun. We just seemed to click, and we talked a lot for a lengthy amount of time, just sitting there, talking about life and things. And yeah, the conversations got very deep and very in depth. It was at this point that eventually, through our lengthy conversations, she revealed to me that she had a crush on me. Yeah, I know, video game relationship. She has a crush on me. Now, would you laugh it off? Would you go face and humor it? I just admired that she had the guts to say it. in a video game of all things. Because for all intents and purposes, a jerk might laugh in her face or something. But no, she just threw it all out there and said I had a crush on you. So from that point on, suffice to say, things were getting very serious. The conversations were getting more serious, more blatant flirting, and more heavy things discussed. A pivotal moment was one night she revealed to me that she had Smith-Magenis syndrome. Don't worry if you don't really know about it. It's a very rare genetic disorder. It's where one of your chromosomes, some of it micro-deleted or it mutated. It can cause symptoms similar to autism, which gave her a misdiagnosis for many years in her childhood. But it has deformity, can lead to deformity or learning issues, cognitive issues. can cause weight gain, behavior issues, like tantrums of the like. And I'm talking, it could be really bad tantrums. But on the flip side, she can be, people with SMS are highly affectionate. They are the most optimistic, and at least as far as she goes, positive people out there. They are always that light in the room, and a complete counter to someone as cynical as me, to be honest. Opposites attract, right? So when she revealed that to me, you know the first thing she said? I'm sorry. I thought that was so cute. So yeah, at that point you consider all cards were laid on the table. It didn't come close to my, my humorous baggage was, I make it no secret that I really like Jim from Jim and the Holograms. And I basically told her I wanted Jim since 2011.
All at once you feel like doing cartwheels. There's someone you're always dreaming of. Your heart is set aflame and you'll never be the same. Once you find first love, first love, first love makes you
Wouldn't you
feel
know it, she took it in stride. Hell, even going further than that, she wanted to listen to some of the songs. And I told her about them on YouTube. And she listened to a lot of them. Of course, while still calling Jim a bitch. But she wasn't gonna get jealous of a cartoon character. So she was taking it in stride. So yeah, she was interested for the long haul. I did have to lay some of my own problems, and it came to a head when she noticed that I wasn't the most affectionate guy around. Or maybe she got the feeling I was holding back. And in hindsight, some truth, maybe she was right to see through that, even in the game. She once told me, or she got the feeling that, why are you so scared of love? Or why do you seem so adverse to affection or showing affection? I recall telling her, it's because love's a double-edged sword, and it can just be used as a weapon to hurt someone. And all she could say was, who hurt you? You know, that question goes deeper than it could possibly go for this video. Suffice it to say, yes, I guess you could say I was kind of emotionally depressed. I mean, I'm curious, I'm suspicious I might be on the spectrum, and I'm in fact going to get a test real soon for it, as of this video. Now, either way, I did discuss that with her, and so it was after that lengthy discussion that I decided to show some respect, open up a little, not be so frightened to do it. So then, the I love yous were freely being said in the game. And more flirting. And then eventually, we started messaging each other. And from there, I would message her parents. I would message her. Then eventually, we'd even set up a Skype chat and video, which would be our main source of communication throughout the relationship. In that first chat, I tell you, when I first saw her, she was so scared of what I'd think when I saw her. The second the camera came on and showed her face, I thought she was so beautiful. At the time, she says she didn't believe me. She was just giving that awkward laugh and thought I was just being nice. But no, I swear to God, Joanna was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. And not just because she was real. I did even jokingly thank her for being real. And from that point on, it's a full-blown, official, long-distance relationship. Every day, around noon, and the Netherlands is 7 hours ahead, so keep that in mind. We were very punctual, I'd say 98% of the time, over the course of 3 years, just talking with each other, bonding, sharing our hopes, our dreams, our dislikes, our likes, love for music, my love of anime, and whatever was on our minds, just random. And then randomly flirting and joking with each other. It was the best thing ever. Just to trust someone that completely, to share everything with them. And discover them little by little every day. I mean, yeah, granted, the hours could make things awkward sometimes. Sometimes we get too tired and have to end the call. But we made the most of everything. And that's one of the benefits of a long distance relationship. Before anything intimate ever happens, you have the opportunity to know someone on a personal level. To understand their baggage. Understand what you signed up for ahead of time. Let's put it that way. But on a more positive note, it can make things stronger. It made me appreciate all the little things. It made her appreciate all the little things so much more. Check this, for instance. These are all the love letters she sent me. Every single one I saved. I was 30 at the time. From the first one. I'd never been given a love letter by a girl before. Nothing beyond an obligatory Valentine's Day card. And not so much that, again, you appreciate all the little things. And that was such a big thing from my perspective. And I got to have plenty of letters with loving words. With a woman pouring her heart out for me. It made me feel like the luckiest guy in the world.
I'm happy, really happy, that you want me to show your insight, hon. That's beautiful and fair. You know, I'll never take advantage of it. It's really safe with me. Every time you fall, baby boy, I want to catch you. If I'll be your wife, and I will make sure you never be overcome anything.
So, we were sending gifts to each other. International fees be damned. Like everything. I sent her packages of random stuff. She sent me like the mentioned letters, necklaces, chains, things like that. And for birthdays, our birthdays were legendary. She would surprise me with something. Like she gave me her favorite book, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, along with an audio recording love message, an audio love letter to our favorite song, Joe, the things your man won't do. She really loved black men. Oh, and by the way, I am albino. I swear. I don't know how she edited the instrumental together, but she audiobooked the entire thing, the entire story, doing that. It was so cute and so creative. I gave her a new video game on the Switch. We give each other games, in fact, plenty of them. We was even sharing Switch accounts. And because that 7-hour time gap I mentioned, she'd buy me a game. I'd play the game using her name while she slept, because it was on, as long as it was online and she wasn't on it, I wouldn't be kicked out, and vice versa. It was just magical to just feel so close to someone who was so far away, and to be able to share the love of gaming with them. And of course, make jokes at each other's expense once in a while. Oh, there were plenty of jokes. I mentioned my whole gym thing, right? Well, I was still in the midst of it, and most of my jokes would center around wanting her to dye her hair pink to mess with her. Like I couldn't accept her if she didn't have pink hair. And I'd be countered with accusations of being an asshole, or declarations rather. But she was a good sport, and met me halfway. Compromises in relationships, right? As you can see. And then, perhaps my most infamous running gag, Lila Vale.
Lost leaving Tarl Hill mast, Ranastern I
At that time, Animal Crossing New Horizons was starting to get a little bit stale, right? So to freshen things up, people often destroy their islands. Like, Joanna ended up starting her island over. But instead of the name Paradise, she named her island Veillight. Veillight in honor of me. My island was named Starlight. Again, a Gem and the Holograms reference. That's how I decided to create a new character, Lila Vale. My main character, Vale's younger sister, who was completely, utterly insane. And I knew this, because I'm insane. Changed things up by playing as the girl character. And Lila was basically my idealized version, or exaggerated version, of a bitch. A mean girl. Someone so obnoxious, she would just go into a town and just troll, call people poor, and everything under the sun to get a rise out of them. Of course, all the trolling mainly centered on Joanna. And yeah, she would play along and fight back, and do all the swearing and insults. I think she really loved that gag. I just laughed just thinking about it. You know, eventually, we'd have to close the distance. Luckily, in 2022, that would become a reality. And on my birthday, I'd finally give her the news. I'm going to come and visit you for your birthday.
Yes!
In my life, that trip to the Netherlands was one of the best, if not the best, moment of my life. That woman, her entire family, they treated me like a king over there, which is funny because they're under a monarchy. It was just a magical time I'll never forget. Going to the fairy tale theme park Efteling, eating at a pizzeria, eating all you can eat at the entree. It was just beautiful. And then her giving me that cake when I arrived. Oh, I was so touched. I could have broke down crying right there. From the moment we hugged, after all the distance, all the talks, dealing with all the difficulties that come with a long distance relationship. It was a truly beautiful moment in my life that I'll never forget as long as I live. It was a shame, but that magical week in the Netherlands, the most amazing week in my life, arguably, it would have to come to an end. In my personal and professional life, it really didn't allow me at the time to make a repeat annual trip. If I was lucky, maybe every other year. And though she took it hard, she understood that. But of course, in a strange change of fate, things would change for me to where I could actually visit her again in 2023. In fact, in March, I booked a flight and we was good to go. I couldn't wait to have another one of her amazing cakes. So I was just waiting with anticipation. The flight was booked and everything. Just wait till her birthday, August 19th. This would bring us to, right now, April of 2023. Joanna was being hospitalized for breathing issues. She had a really sharp decline in her health, being hospitalized twice in a month prior due to pneumonia. She was needing breathing assistance. I would comfort her for as ever long as I needed to in the hospital and keep her spirits up. Still flirt, tell some jokes, anything. I would comfort her as long as she needed to till she needed to rest. But, heck, in sickness and health, right? But yeah, it would gradually get worse. I could see her on camera getting weaker. Not moving around as much and being winded from moving. She was trying to hide it, but I could see. I just didn't want to bring it up. Because then she'd worry about me worrying about her. And then it just become a whole uncomfortable situation. Fast forward that to around April 6th. I had another talk with her. She was hospitalized again. And while I was on a Skype call with her, I hate to say it, I've grown accustomed to seeing her hospitalized. I know she was in bad health in the complications from SMS and everything else. So, I hate to say it, but I've become kind of numb to it and I accepted it. So I didn't want to if nothing else, but not to freak her out or anything or make her feel bad for making me feel bad. But yeah, she was talking to me and it wasn't normal. Her speech, it was slurred. I could hardly understand her on the camera. And there were instances where she would cover in the camera like this while with the doctor in the room. I didn't think much of it. I assume, hey, maybe there's something she doesn't want me to see that the doctor's doing or something like that. I respect privacy. You have to be trusting in long distance or things like that. Don't get paranoid. So yeah, I was just telling her, just hit the camera button off if there's something you'd rather not I see. But yes, like always, since she seemed really tired, and she did say she was tired, but she wanted to see me as always, come hella high water. So we kissed on the webcams, ended the call, and then said our goodbyes. But she was having a hard, awkward time typing, saying I'm sorry. She used to say I'm sorry a lot. It was her tick or a habit. She was saying I'm sorry, and there was typos that she usually doesn't make. And I was just letting her know it was okay, thinking that she felt bad for having to cut the call short. We said our goodbyes, and she left me with kisses. I try not to worry about her, because again, I've seen her hospitalized so much that I'd accepted it, and I accepted her no matter what. And I would wait for her like I always do. It was Good Friday, April 7th, 2023. I just woken up by a Skype call. I answered it, and I saw her father and her brother on the line. And they told me that Joanna passed away. I, I just broke down. I was laying on a blanket of her she gave me. And I was inconsolable. I I had to spend a few days with my family members because I'm an introvert, but I know I couldn't be alone in this apartment with that. I know I couldn't. You know, thinking back, that final talk she gave me where she was slurring, I think she knew that the end was coming. But come hell or high water, she wanted to talk to me at the time we always do and tell me she loved me. And she managed to do that. Despite her disabilities and despite everything else, I really love that woman. I would have given anything just to hear her call me darling again. I would have gladly wheeled her around the Netherlands if she couldn't walk anymore, with a smile on my face. But those weren't in the cards. That brings us to now. On Friday, I'm gonna fly out to attend her funeral in the Netherlands. Because I want to see my baby laid to rest. Some things you just have to do, and some things you just really want to do. I love it that much. So much. And to think, I meant the world to that big girl. I mean, she was everything to me. You know, at 30, I was fine with dying alone. I mean, I'm an introvert, got independence, got to be alone in an apartment and game all day without a care in the world. But even me, I found someone who came into my life and changed it for the better. I'm no longer scared of emotion. That's why I can cry on camera now. That's why I can hug my families. That's why I can tell my mom that I love her. It's all thanks to Joanna. After I felt like I calmed down enough where I could come back home because I had to pack up, I decided to take a break and play some of the games that she got me. Again, we was sharing Switch accounts. She even bought me Persona 5 Royal on the PC, and like games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, among others. And let me tell you, it felt really awkward when, I don't know if anyone has ever experienced this. It's like there was reminders in the games, reminders of her presence, reminders of things alluding to her passing. And I soldiered on, but it was not, I wasn't able to take my mind completely from everything in the end and just enjoy the games. I just, in the grand scheme of things, I just kept keeping in mind that a wonderful person bought these games for me. She would want me to enjoy them. On my birthday today, I returned to Animal Crossing New Horizons and checked the mail, and I did notice that I got an old Valentine's Day message from Joanna. By that point, we both were playing not nearly as much as we used to. I think we were pretty much over the game, but we still liked playing it to like have coffee at a cafe or just hang out a little bit. We always had a soft spot for the game for obvious reasons. Anyway, I did my birthday stuff, and I decided to make a trip down to my basement to the wedding room. The wedding room was basically something I did for our first anniversary in July. I decorated the entire basement of my home into like a wedding chapel, and I even got her a wedding dress, which coincides with the wedding DLC that they released at around the same time. So I had to work really hard to get all those parts together to set that up. But I made it happen. So during that time, when I surprised her with it, she was so happy. She always wanted to be married. I couldn't give it to her, as things were now. But the next best thing I could do was marry her in the game. So, in the wedding room, we had our little vows while sitting down in the chairs. And it was the cutest thing. And I could tell just how much she appreciated that I went through that trouble. I thought about it that much. And she told me, never say you don't know how to be romantic again. I think even I could come up with a decent idea. Well, a brilliant idea. But yeah, all I could do was just go down there, walk around. What little room there was to walk around, I filled that room up. Complete with pictures of me and her. In the seat, I just kept adding to it over time. And I appreciate it all the more now for what it represents. For me, for her, for our entire relationship. That room represented a commitment. A commitment I hold very dear in my heart. When her father told me of her passing, I asked if I could attend her funeral. And they said they'd be honored to have me. And that brings us to April 14th, where I would fly out to the Netherlands.
What do you think success is? Asked the boy. To love, said the mole.
I have to go.
Well, hello. Do you have a favorite saying? Asked the boy. Yes, said the mole. What is it? If at first you don't succeed, have some cake. I see. Does it work? Every time.
I want to go.
Just a tiny taste. I got you a delicious cake, said the mole. Did you? Yes. Where is it? I eat it, said the mole. Oh, but I got you another. Did you? Where is that one? The same thing seems to have happened. What do you think is the biggest waste of time? Comparing yourself to others, said the mole. I wonder if there is a school of unlearning. We are feeling lost too, the day we've met each other, but we're falling in love. And now we are home, the day we've met each other, but we're falling in love, and now we are home. Home is where the heart is, and you have it, so I'm home. Thank you so much for that. My love found finally a home for it. I really can't thank you enough for it.
Here it is. The last gift my baby ever bought me. This is so sweet. Alright. I'm in the Netherlands right now. Her funeral is going to be in a few hours. Right now it's almost 3 a.m. In a couple hours, I want to start getting ready first, before everyone else. I can't get to sleep, and probably me being a night person attributes to that, along with the 7-hour time gap. A lot of thoughts are going through my head right now, and I know today might be a difficult day, but it's also going to be a wonderful day to celebrate the life of an amazing person, a person against all odds I've managed to meet. If she never disobeyed her parents about going online, playing with other people, I would have never met her. If we never went in that town with 6 people or 8 people and added each other just to do it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And if she never confessed to me, I wouldn't have met my first love. But I didn't let those thoughts swirl in my head. Pacing a bedroom. I just wanted to get that all out here and now. And I'd like to say something. Well, her disabilities, it made her have developmental disabilities, and she didn't think much of herself because she didn't think she was the smartest person. Something I can relate to. I've been in special education for years, rode the short bus for years. And of course it led to preconceived notions, ridicule, assumptions of me. The way I always saw it, it gave me perspective. And I think it gave her perspective too. That people are much more than that. And no one needs pity. All they really need is a chance to prove themselves. And I'll tell you, Joanne, she surprised me again and again in this relationship. Even in her passing, she continues to surprise me. And so, through everything, life is amazing. Because of all those chances, I am right here, right now. And even though I wish things ended another way, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I was given. And that there was someone who loved me so much. Who I believe somewhere is still loving me. And looking out for me. And I want to pay tribute to that person. It's the morning after the funeral. I can't go back to sleep again. And I have a lot on my mind and just pacing. And right now, all I want to say is, last year here, 7 months ago, I remember saying that walking away from her to the airport while she was crying, walking away to her dad's car to drive me back, it broke my heart. It never once occurred to me that, not even a year later, I would be right in the back of her coffin, watching her for a funeral. To one of her favorite songs, The Circle of Life, no less. It was a beautiful funeral. And she touched so many lives, not just mine, but so many filled that church. And it was a Dutch funeral, so, of course, the service was mostly Dutch. That is to be expected, but emotions, they're universal. There is one moment, her father, while talking, switched to English and addressed me, saying how happy I made her last year with that week we spent. That was the best time of her life, and it was the best time of mine. Nothing else. I'm just eternally grateful that I could be here and that the family would accept me and treat me as one of their own. It means the world to me. And I'm sure that somewhere Joanna was looking down at us and smiling and happy to see that we were there for each other, to comfort each other and cry together, grieve together, be together. On a positive note, I guess all of her family and friends during the reception dinner, I believe that's what it's referred to as the after funeral dinner or meal, they was all gathering around me, wanting to shake hands and I guess see the man, the myth, or the legend that Joanna kept talking about that she met online, her long-distance boyfriend. I could see from the look on their faces, they were overjoyed to see that I was there. I mean, she talked about me so long, but up till then, I'd only been there for a week. And the majority of them never got a chance to say hi to me, of course. It's just, it was so little time. But you know, all in all, my socializing, my, well, maybe lack of social skills or social awkwardness and reluctance to engage with people, that fell to the wayside. I was greeting, talking, and note that 90% of Dutch people, they can carry some English in a conversation, so exchanging condolences, giving thank yous, talking about how amazing she was and how she touched all their lives. I am so proud of her. She didn't have the easiest life, but through it all, she kept a smile on her face. She kept her optimism. And as a hopeless romantic, she prayed and hoped that she would find someone. And that someone ended up being me. I'm honored to have been the most important person in her world.
See, you're catching me too if I fall, or nearly fall. So we are an impressive team. We're caring so much for each other. Thank you for caring so much for me, baby.
Okay. It's April 19th at like 5 a.m. Again, I guess I'm having issues sleeping. Unpacking, because I obviously made it home safe and sound. Thank God. So I'm unpacking and just busy with my thoughts. while visiting, I did get a bunch of keepsakes from her room and the like. I felt really weird about going through her stuff and keeping things for sentimental reasons. I felt so awkward that there was a moment I had to just kneel down and pray to her. And then I just went about it looking around. There was so much history in her place, her special space. I also, for the long distance people, I got to sit where she sat when she spoke to me on webcam. Look at her little area. It meant the world to me. Come rain, snow, or sun, she was always on that little chair around 7 a.m. Netherlands time, which would be around 12 or 1 a.m. my time, itching for the chance to talk to me. And sometimes she didn't, because sometimes I would sleep, and instead we'd shoot for 5 a.m. for me, 12 noon for her. But yeah, that's how it was for 3 years straight. Not every time we talked, but I'm not joking about the 90% of the time, 95% of the time, we did interact every day. But that's just how much she loved me, how much she wanted to see me. I also should note, people with SMS, their sensitivity to temperatures, they might be a little numb to or resistant to it. So if it was cold from rain or really hot from the sun, it's not a guarantee that she noticed it or till I or someone else had to say something to get her to move back to her room so she's more safe from the elements. But it was so cute. You can't say the girl wasn't dedicated. But yeah, as I mentioned, I got some things from her room as keepsakes. I told her parents the only thing I really wanted. Hold on a sec. I just wanted my baby Switch. Now, granted, she sold the original Switch she met me on in Animal Crossing. She traded it for the OLED. But I'm holding the device she used to play with me online, to game share with me, to experience things with me. That's worth gold to me. Because that's how much she was worth. I mean, it might sound a little sappy, but everything about her was just precious. And I want to take very good care of this. And it makes me feel just a little bit closer to her, you know? I also got other things as keepsakes. Like, her mom gave me a beautiful pillowcase that was meant for her. It's inscribed with the words, "I'm looking for a word. A whole new word. A word that no one knows. I'm looking for a word that means you are the sweetest." Just a beautiful gift that she unfortunately never got to give to her daughter. And I would treasure that always, that she would share it and give it to me. And that brings me to the sheet that she used, right at the pillow, the giant pillowcase, that I'm gonna put an image up for it. The image of for that week we spent together of us kissing. I just have to buy some pillows for it. I want to fill it out, and I bet it'll look even more beautiful when I do. There are a few other keepsakes I'd like to talk about. that were sent to me in a package by her parents during the making of this video. One would be a Google Pixel 2 XL phone I left with her during my trip to the Netherlands before I went back home. I gave it to her as a thank you gift for showing me such an amazing time. Well, after her passing, it was one of the things her parents sent back to me in the package. It was locked prior, and we thought it better to just factory reset it to respect her privacy and all. But I would come to know that Google has an anti-theft protection. So if your email is still in the phone when you factory reset, the phone would demand the old user's PIN. Otherwise, it's a brick, basically. Well, I thought I'd take a crack at it, and the PIN number ended up being my birthday. 12/04/1990. Joanna appreciated and treasured everything I gave her throughout the entire relationship. They also gave me her Switch controller. While I was looking for keepsakes, it never crossed my mind to get a hold of that before I left, sadly. But yeah, they were nice enough to send that. Those two things were expected. It never occurred to me that they would send me this. I was left speechless. I didn't know what to say. I was just so moved and grateful knowing that they respected me that much, respected the relationship that much, to share that with me. I would go on to frame it for safekeeping and seal it with her perfume. It's so beautiful that I have her hair to remember her by. Oh, there were other things, but I'd be here all day if I just mentioned them all. But the last thing, I found this in the room. A t-shirt from her favorite story. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Which is very fitting after I just spent the flight over to the Netherlands audio reading it. So I was really attached to it, and the story and the struggles of the and what the characters comment on. And I completely understand why she loved that story so much. I think I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to. There's like 3 reasons I made this video. First, probably somewhat selfish reasons, but it's my way of working through the grief, you know? Say one of the ways is to write a love letter to the person you lost. Well, I want to video edit this and document our relationship. Document the story, because it was such a beautiful story that I want to share with other people. Which would bring me to reason number 2. As it pertains to long-distance relationships. I know my story's not the norm, and this definitely was an abnormal romance, but everything in my life has been, for better or worse, abnormal. It's pretty much defined me, so why not my romances and relationships be abnormal too? Life wouldn't be any fun if everything was boring, or the same if everybody was the same anyway. So roll with the punches. The idea is, well, how should I put this? When it comes to long distance, it gets a negative stigma, I guess. And I'm guessing this, it's because people rush to that next step real fast to close the distance. They don't take the time to talk, to understand each other, to, well, learn each other's baggage. and to see where you stand, truly stand, before you physically meet. Up till then, as it, like for us, for example, before we met in the Netherlands last year in August, we talked so much. We understood each other in and out. So there was little to no chance of there being a disaster where we don't get along, don't click, or worst case, God forbid, get into fights or something like that. It wasn't a concern at that point. Up till then, we said all that needed to be said. We just wanted to hang out and do the things normal couples do. So let this be, I really hope that this video can be taken as something positive for long distance relationships and the prospects of it. In 3, there's something I want to say about dating someone who has a disability. I believe I said earlier, I wrote the short bus for like almost a decade. And of course, anyone who's gone through high school, you know, the stigma, the trauma, or the ostracization that can come with that. But I'd like to say it gave me some perspective. And that perspective as to anyone else I meet in the world who has a disability. I don't have preconceived notions, or at least I try not to. And as it pertained to Joanna, living with SMS, she didn't have it easy. She was impulsive, prone to getting taken advantage of. She didn't have the best luck as a hopeless romantic, continually wanting romance, always believing in it, but it never quite working out. Till now, for 30 plus years. But God bless her, she still believed. She still tried. And somehow, some way, she met me. And said I made her the happiest girl in the world. So, if someone who has a disability, if they have the courage to approach you, to say they like you, say that they're interested in dating you, opinions are opinions, and people will think the way they think. But listen to my words. People are so much more than what a piece of paper says they are. There's so much more than what a bus groups them into. And if you don't need to give them pity. I'm pleading with you to just give them a chance. And you might see some beautiful things in this world. Maybe even more beautiful than what I saw in Joanne. Though I seriously doubt that. Despite all her disabilities, despite all her trouble with things that we take for granted, that girl gave 120% of herself to make me happy. All the while thinking once that she wasn't worthy of love. I thought I wasn't. What matter if I was prepared to die alone and Romance didn't interest me. The prospect or the idea of a romance didn't interest me very much. But you meet that one person, that one incredible, that one special person, and they might change your whole world, your whole worldview. Flip it upside down for the better.
So, darling, we've made it this far. On your birthday, 10 months and now 8 days. And I know that we're never breaking up. That strong is our love. You've mattered for me, baby, and I know I do for you. You've bring to this world things no one else can. And one thing is in special, you have rescued me. Really, no one else couldn't do that. So thank you, big boy, for being there for me, loving me, accepting me for who I am, and protecting me. But most of all, thank you for who you are. You're really that ticket from the lottery. So yes, when your answer on my question was, surprise me, I know damn well what I wanted to give to you. So happy birthday, honey. I hope I'm a little with you now on your birthday. It's too bad I can't see your face right now, but I know there's a big smile on it. Or maybe there are tears in your eyes. I'm happy I made you smile, and if you are moved, I will be there for you, honey, just like always. I will always love you with all my heart. A billion wet-long kisses, hugs and squeezes from your wife, Joanna.
To those watching this who may currently be in a similar situation, I was 30, alone, never had a girlfriend, never even kissed a girl, and content with dying alone. I just want to say, it's okay. Work on yourself. Learn to be happy with yourself. And find joy in making those who care for you happy. But most of all, if romance is truly what you desire, never give up hope. Because somewhere out there in this world, there is a very special person. There is a very special person who will accept you unconditionally and cheer for you. There is a very special person who will always know how to make you feel good about yourself when you feel inadequate, knowing just the right words to help you see through the lies you've told yourself. There is a very special person who would follow you to the ends of the earth and to the depths of hell if you asked them to. Joanna, she was a hopeless romantic, and despite all the difficulties she had in her life when it came to her health, society, and romance, she still believed in that very special person. A man she saw that brightened her dreams even in her darkest moments. My goddess had far more reason to hate the world than I ever did. Yet she chose to love always, because she believed love conquered all. And to believe in her true love, no matter what anyone said to her. If she can do it, you can too. I am honored to have been that very special person, and I will always love her for being mine. That person is out there waiting for you to find them, or looking for you as I speak. But just keep an open mind, because that very special person may come from an unexpected place.
crashing down, splashes and beauty resound. Oh, 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 where the shore ends become unwound. Treasure is found down by the sands of the sea. Unlock the door, you may have the key.
Joanna, thank you for everything from the bottom of my heart. And our story is not over yet. I love you forever and beyond. Ik hou van je voor het hier en verder.
Out past the door, adventure lies. Thrills are in store, worthwhile and engaging. Open your eyes, roll on with the tide, and maybe you'll find there's a new life awaiting. Waves crashing down, splashes and beauty resound. Oh, 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 where the shore ends become unwound. Treasure is found down by the sands of the sea. It's calling